on. Look at that one. Yo, mama. Dang.
What's up, everybody? Hey, in studio with the Fisherman's Warehouse crew. I've been all over this winter, early spring. You know, we're going to talk Delta right now. I've been out there a lot. A big wave of fish have finally moved shallow, so the place is really fun right now. I mean, I think you can go out, and probably catch easy 15 to 20 keepers a day. I've had days where, I've caught 25, 35 keepers a day, and some of them have been up to 7-8 pounds. So, for me, I always start off with a reaction bait this time of year. Those fish are in that 1 to 6 foot range now. The grass is really nice and crispy. Water temps in the morning, usually, depending on where you start, they're starting anywhere from 56 to 58. And I've seen it get as warm as 64 in the afternoon. But right now, it's probably between 57 and 62, 63 degrees. And that's the water temperature where, these fish, they get shallow, they want to start eating, they're feeding up for the spawn. There are fish that are spawning right now, but there's a bunch of them that are pre-spawn. So where I start first always is a reaction bait. And for me, it's always two staple reaction baits. First thing is a chatterbait or a bladed jig. I've been throwing two this time of year right now, 1/2 and 3/8. I throw both. This is the JACKHAMMER with a ZAKO. This is watermelon, I think it's watermelon orange copper, right? ZAKO. I really like the orange in that more tangy water, the stuff that you can maybe only see down a foot or 1.5 feet. This thing has really been a killer. Again, look for crispy, clean grass along riprap banks. You want to fish, the bait will fish really easy in that 3 to 5 feet range. So when those fish move in that 1 to 6, you're right in it. The other thing, this is a custom vibrating jig. Again, 1/2 ounce. I put a kamikaze swim on, from Big Bite on this. And when I hold both of these up, you can tell the difference in color and subtlety. Like this has a lot more wider bait fish profile, where this is a lot more skinny, and that tail darts around a lot more than a ZAKO does. So I always, don't ever get stuck on one bait, one brand. One day the fish want the vibration of a jackhammer. The next day they want a vibration of a custom jig. So it's very different. But I'm catching a lot of fish on that. I like to throw it on the Delta. It's the only place I do it. I like to throw it on SUNLINE PEX8, and I throw it with a fluorocarbon leader. Okay, so this is like my get down when I throw a bladed jig. The reason I like to use the braid is, you make a really long cast on the end of a cast, and you get that hook set in that fish. It allows you to drive that bait home. Okay. Second thing is a square bill crankbait. Okay. I've been saying this since the Western Bass Shootout in 23 that I won. This crankbait is really amazing. SB57, designed by Mark Daniels Jr., California native. What's special about this bait is it's got a honeycomb interior, which makes it more solid and the walls are thinner. It's got a circuit board lip. So there's a lot of premium components. Comes with EWG hooks already. And so there's a lot of premium components in this bait, and I believe it's a sub $10 bait. And I like to throw it on SUNLINE Crank FC. This is absolutely the best reaction bait line that you can use from 8 to 16 pound test. Just absolutely fantastic. And then I'm obviously flipping, pitching, and punching a Yo-Mama quite a bit. Again, by Big Bait. This is a green pump. This is a green pumpkin June bug, but I also like the 1099 color. And I usually like to throw that on anything from, say, a 1/2 ounce all the way up to a 2 ounce, depending on the situation. I could have 4, 5, 6 flipping sticks on the deck of my boat, all with a different weight, different size hook, just for a different situation. I always tell people a flip and stick to me is no different than any other bait. When you look at a situation, you have to match the tool and the weight to that presentation. So sometimes I may make 5 or 6 flips with 1.5 ounces. I'll put it down, I'll pick up 1 ounce because it's better for that situation, and I'll make 5 or 6 flips with 1 ounce. So every situation takes a different tool, just like in real life. And the last thing that's starting to happen right now in the Delta, which is fun, like I said, the fish are starting to bed. You gotta have like a top water, but this time of year it's really about a frog. And I love this It's Just Matt Daddy frog. I like it in white early this time of year because the fish are starting to bed. They don't like something big over, when those fish are bedding in that 1-2 foot range, the water's tainy, you can't see them. You throw a frog over the top of their heads, they can't stand that. So you get some of the best open water frog blows this time of year. Work it slow. You can't work it really fast. It's kind of slow and deliberate. This frog also walks great in open water. It's a great mat frog, but it also walks the dog great in open water. And again, I always pair it up with 60-pound AMZ8 SUNLINE braid. These two things, deadly combination. I would say you're still not going to get a whole lot of bites like in the summer on this. You're looking at maybe 4 to 7 bites, hopefully a day. But a couple of those will be the ones you need. So right now, again, very simple for the Delta. A chatterbait or a vibrating jig, a square bill crankbait, a frog, and a piece of plastic. Go have fun.